Deep in the heart of Louisiana's unforgiving wilderness, where thick swamps choke the land and the air hangs heavy with humidity, a deadly game of survival unfolds. This isn't just any hunting ground, it's a battleground where cunning wild boars thrive and every step could trigger a chase. Here, success doesn't come from sheer marksmanship alone. It demands sharp instincts, unshakable patience, and the mental toughness to outlast both beast and terrain. So what really happens when hunter and hog collide in one of America's wildest frontiers? Let's find out. Northern Louisiana's licensed hunting grounds stretch across thick pine forests, swamplands, and rugged fields, ideal terrain for wild boars and a true test for even seasoned hunters. As we arrived and split into position, the silence was thick with tension. Every rustle or crackle could mean a wild boar was near. Moments later, Alicia, the only woman in our group, was the first to take a shot. Her target, a boar just beyond the ridge, dropped instantly. That clean takedown wasn't just our first of the day. It was a clear sign that this hunt was off to a strong start. Not far from Alicia's location, I waited patiently in a pre-built hunting blind, camouflaged against the brush. The air was still, but I could hear faint grunts and rustling. Peering through the scope, I spotted a group of wild pigs distracted by the bait we'd laid. According to Louisiana's Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, wild pigs cause more than $75 million in annual damage statewide, making every hunt not just a sport but a form of necessary control. I adjusted my aim slowly, heart steady. One pig stepped right into the open. A breath, a squeeze of the trigger, bang. A single clean shot ended its feast. It never saw it coming. Meanwhile, Baldrick, one of our most experienced hunters, had eyes on an entire sounder, a family group of boars, near a thicket. Rather than rushing the shot, he waited behind a tall tree, letting the group settle and relax. Patience paid off. When two of the largest males moved into the open, Baldrick unleashed a thunderous shot that echoed through the forest. In another part of the zone, Lloyd took a different approach. He climbed into the truck and explored deeper. Near an automated feeder, a known magnet for hog activity, he stepped out, spotted a pair of feeding boars, and lined up. One squeeze of the trigger later, another trophy was earned. As daylight faded and the forest grew golden, we made our way back along a narrow trail. That's when we saw them, dozens of boars, from young piglets to hulking adults, grazing near a clearing. I picked the biggest of the bunch and waited. The air was thick with anticipation. When it stepped into my line of sight, I didn't hesitate. The recoil hit my shoulder, and the boar hit the dirt. That instant surge of adrenaline, knowing your shot was perfect, never gets old. In the heart of the hunting zone, Jason was tracking a lone boar. It was a heavyweight, easily 200 kilograms, cautiously weaving through pine cover as if it knew the forest was no longer safe. He tracked it in silence, finger on the trigger. When the boar paused, head raised and ears twitching, Jason took the shot. The beast collapsed instantly, its thick, bristled coat contrasting against the pine needles. In that moment, under the darkening Louisiana sky, we were reminded why these hunts matter: for the thrill, the control of an invasive menace, and the enduring bond among hunters. Last week, disaster struck when an outbreak of African swine fever decimated our entire livestock population across multiple farms in northern Louisiana. The financial toll was devastating, over $10,000 in losses within days. But even worse was the realization that wild boars, known carriers of the virus, were the hidden culprits behind the outbreak. These animals had breached our boundaries, bringing with them not just destruction, but disease. With no time to mourn and no room for hesitation, we did what rural communities have done for generations. We fought back. By dawn, farmers and hunters from nearby parishes gathered at the forest edge, united by urgency and survival instinct. Our hounds were unleashed, noses to the ground, and within minutes, they flushed out a hidden den deep in the brush. The chaos that followed was sudden and fierce. Boars burst from the shadows in every direction, driven by the dogs and fear. We were ready. Rifles raised, we opened fire as the forest erupted into a thunder of barks, bullets, and breaking branches. But just when we thought we had scattered the herd, a monstrous boar charged headlong through the smoke. It took a hail of bullets to stop its fury, and even then, our loyal dog had to finish the job. The dense pine canopy in this region offers wild boars excellent cover, allowing them to move like ghosts through the woods. But even that couldn't save them from our relentless pursuit. As we pushed deeper into the timberland, more boars exploded from the underbrush, their hooves pounding like war drums. Some were massive, their thick hides absorbing multiple shots before finally going down. I remember one in particular. I fired 3 times before it even staggered. These animals weren't just pests. They were resilient, muscular brutes that required precision, experience, and unshakable nerves to bring down. Despite the intensity, not all the boars fell. One in particular, a large alpha male, had evaded the firefight. Instead of fleeing in panic, he slipped silently through the trees, using the chaos as cover. But he didn't count on our elevation. From a ridge overlooking the slope, I spotted him weaving through the brush. I took my time, waited for the perfect angle, and fired. The shot was clean. He dropped immediately, his escape attempt foiled. We split into smaller units after that, using a hunting flange technique, encircling the remaining boars and driving them toward exposed terrain. The forest slowly fell quiet, but the mission wasn't over. As we made our way back to the rendezvous point, David froze. A faint silhouette moved among the lower trees, one of the escapees. We tracked its movement carefully, predicting its path like chess players plotting the final move. When it lunged into a clearing, I didn't wait. A quick double shot to the shoulder and chest ensured it wouldn't rise again. That final takedown marked the end of the operation. We hadn't eliminated every last wild boar in the region, but we had dismantled the core herd responsible for the outbreak. This wasn't just a hunt, it was a stand against disease, loss, and the wild chaos threatening our farms.